Before we continue with today's webinar, it is so important that we do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Cohort, Esquimalt, and Lekwungen Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. Welcome. To make sure everybody's in the right room today, today's session is the DBA Q&A. And with me, I have Dr. Hassan Wafai, who is the program head, and my name is Emara Angus, and I'm an education specialist. In addition, we have a bunch of people behind the scenes. We have our enrollment team here who can answer your questions as well. They'll be monitoring the chat, so feel welcome to pop anything in the chat at all. So today's agenda, pretty straightforward, welcome and introduction. That's what we're doing right now. We're also going to go through frequently asked questions, and we're going to give you answers to these questions that we get asked again and again. So hopefully that will help to clarify anything. At the same time, this is a conversation. This is a dialogue. So if you have questions that come up, pop them in the chat and we'll be answering them throughout. Okay, so I'm going to kick us off with the first question. And I'm going to pass it over to Hassan, but why DBA? And Hassan, when you come on, if you can just introduce yourself again, that would be wonderful.
Thank you, Emara. Thank you very much. So my name is Hassan Wafai. I am an associate professor at School of Business. I'm also the DBA program head, and I'm very happy for being here. Today, and thank for joining us. So why DBA? What's different about DBA? I've got that question always. Should I do DBA? Is that the right program for me? First, I would like to acknowledge we understand it's a big investment. It's a financial investment, it's time investment, but we need to make sure it's worth it. A DBA program is designed for working professionals who are, or who aspire to make a change in their industry, to lead change in their industry or field. You do master program to improve your organization. You do doctorate to improve your industry. So if you are interested in being a subject matter expert, interested in building your brand as a subject matter expert, DBA, it's a right program. DBA program help you to develop original management related research that advance management research and practice. DBA program is a research intensive program. It's a hybrid meaning that it combines the strength of PhD program and the applied nature of conventional DBA program. So it is a research intensive program. DBA program allow you to be part of a growing community of management researchers within Royal Road and also outside Royal Road, and also allow you to reflect on in your own experience as an expert in the industry and help you to advance this experience. So overall, DBA program it's a program designed for working professional who would like to handle wicked management issue, who would like to bring solutions to real life problems. Emara, over to you.
Thank you. And I know throughout today's session, we'll also be answering more about why DBA, but that's a great way to kick us off about the general why take a DBA. So now kind of diving in a little bit deeper, what does the program delivery look like and how long will it take?
Thank you, Emara. So the program, like other doctoral program, is a 60 credit program. It's a hybrid design, and here I'm going to repeat that term again because this is one of the unique feature of the DBA program, the hybrid nature of the program. Again, it combines that the strength and rigor of conventional PhD program and the focus of applied research that could be found in conventional DBA program. So it brings both of these program in one program. It's unique to BC. It's unique also to Canada. The focus of the program is on knowledge production. So by the end of the program, students will need to produce actionable and relevant knowledge. In another word, they need to contribute to human knowledge. The length of the program is 4 to 7 years. Some students will try to finish before even 4 years. That's possible. It's a blended design. So the program and the blended design, meaning that the program consists of online portion, online learning, and with intensive residency. We have 3 residencies in the program: the first year residency, second year residency, and the fourth year residency. So with that, the program is designed for working professionals. So you don't need to put your work on hold in order to complete your doctoral program. It's a cohort base. That's a interesting features and in doctoral program. Normally doctoral study, it's a silo journey. Doctoral students spend all their time diving deep into the literature and work with their supervisors. Here we build the environment where you work within a group of other researchers who oftentimes will have similar challenges and similar issues as you have. I mean, using the word challenges in a positive way. So it's a cohort piece, but again, it is not exactly similar to the environment that you have in the master program. So it's a cohort piece, but it's at a different level. Also, it's a competency-based approach. The competency-based approach here, the focus is not on a specific area, and that allow us and allow students to choose from a wide spectrum of topics that and then allow them to align their own passion to their own research. So the program built on a competency-based approach. There are 4 main competency that we would like students to acquire as they do their program. That is to build intensive knowledge base, to do applied research, to reflect on practice, and also to design a research. So 4 competencies that are the key competency in the program. Any question? I see some questions in the chat, Emara. Am I missing anything here?
Yeah. So in the chat here, I see a few more people popping in where in the world they're joining us from. So we have Nigeria, we have Bangladesh, we have Regina, Canada, which is great to see people from all over. And then the question that we have that Tracy answered was, can I get a post-graduation work permit program after my graduation with this program? And the answer is the program is not eligible to apply for a post-graduation work permit as it is primarily online. And then the next question, I'll read it to you, Hassan, is some DBA and MBA work as instructors in business schools across the globe. Since Royal Roads Business School is not in accreditation with any of the accrediting bodies, will RU DBA products be accorded respect?
Thank you. It's a good question about accreditation. Accreditation works very well at a master level, at the doctoral level. I would say, would say students will pay more attention on the program itself and the opportunity the program will give you. Which is mainly the opportunity to, if you are interested in work in academia, it is opportunity to publish, or if you are interested to work in industry, it is what programs also offers you in terms of building your professional skills. So Royal Road in general, it does not subscribe to any accreditation that is listed in the chat box here. We are a public institution, and we are one of the 5 research intensive university in BC. I hope I answered the question. And I see here about there's a funding piece. We're gonna answer the funding piece in a minute. Thank you, Sulaiman. Is it totally online? Thank you. Timely question. We are just talking about this. It's actually a blended in the way that it has an online portion, mainly online portion, and then we have 3 residency, and this is what we call residency. It is on campus residency. So what you see here in front of you, it is a schedule of the program. You can see in red the 3 residencies. That is MGMTA on-campus residency, which is normally in February. It's for 2 weeks. That's the first residency. And then the second residency, it is the second year, which is for 1 week on-campus residency, also in February. And the third residency, it is in the 4th year, also 1 week. So you have 3 residencies, and the rest of the program is, I would say, yes, it is online. You can consider it online. Yes, correct. Did I answer the question? Sandra says 60 credit to complete DBA. Will Royal Road also consider previous work too? Well, previous work, I mean, yes, we will consider previous work, but not toward credits. Admission requirement is minimum 7 years work experience. So that will be considered toward that particular admission requirement. Thank you for the question, Sandra. Emara, should I continue reading the question? Is that okay? What do you think? Good?
Yeah, you're welcome to keep reading the questions. We'll
okay.
answer them as they come up.
On time? Okay.
Yeah, we built in lots of time for questions.
Thank you. So I see a question, please. What is the tuition fee payment structure? What is the frequency of tuition fee payment? Thank you. This is an important question, and I'm sure more details, you will find more detailed as we go through the slides about this. So here a question: as a physician of over 20 years, my interest is in info security in the age of cyber to medical record. Is there a room for this? Okay, thank you. So here here we have a specific comment from Kyo. I'm not sure whether I'm pronouncing the name correctly, so feel free to grab a mic and correct me. Talking about specific research topic. I'm not gonna comment on a specific topic here, and we will have another session scheduled in a month. We will talk about how to build your research proposal, and I will be talking about a specific topic. But in general, the program is offers flexibility to accommodate different management related topics. So the way I see your topic, and of course I need to know more about it, it is a management related, but we will of course need to discuss more about this.
And I see some questions as well about admissions and application requirements, and we will go over the key dates for submitting all of your information in a few slides. So we will get to that for sure.
Okay. Good, then let's move on to the next slide, or next question perhaps.
I can jump to the next slide, and I think some questions might come up when we get there. It's
there you go.
The overall structure.
Thank you. So this is the overall structure of the program. So program, as I mentioned, 4 year, can be divided into 3 stages. The first stage, it's DBA Foundation, which is 1 year. DBA Foundation consists of coursework. Student will have 6 courses in this year. These courses are designed to help you start your research. These are not designed to, as as standalone courses different from each other. No, they build on each other, and all these need to build help you advance your initial research ideas. During the first year, you will have 2-week residency, the one I mentioned, which is in February normally. Second year is a research preparation phase. You will have one week residency. That's exactly at the same time. There are several milestones in the second year. This, you will have the candidacy exam, you will submit your formal research proposal, and you will also have your supervisory committee in the second year. Now, once these components are completed, then you could advance to the third phase of the program. That's year 2 and 3, sorry, year 3 and 4, which is execution and writing phase, where you will execute your research and submit your dissertation and do the defense and also attend the convocation. So 3 phases. There are, of course, details, more details in each phase, but this gives you the overall structure. Some students could finish in less than 4 years, but I mean, it is very common to take 4 years to go through the different stages of the program. Any question about Royal Road DBA overall structure?
We do have a question that came up. What about other studies? Will you accept transfer credits from another institution towards the 60 credit requirement?
It depends. So I will say a case by case. Normally, courses need to be at the doctoral level in order to be considered. So let's say that you started a doctoral program in another institution and you want to transfer to Royal Road, and we had several cases like this actually. Then we will consider. It depends on the content and the courses that you had in the other doctoral program. I hope I answered the question.
And I know we're going to go a bit more into detail about supervisors, but we do have a question about, can I have the supervisor's contact and their area of interest? I don't know if you can give a brief overview of.
Thank you. That is, we have a slide for that. This is one of the I would say one of the competitive advantage of Royal Road DBA program. It is the supervisory model. So you do not need to nominate a supervisors before you start the program. And that is very common. I understand that's very common in other PhD programs. That means you need to have approval from supervisor to start the program. That's not the case in the DBA program. In the DBA program, you will be admitted based on your initial proposal, and then you will have the whole year, first year, to learn more about different types of research, your own area. And during this year, we will work together to identify a supervisory committee, and we're going to talk more about this.
And another question we have is, does the topic chosen by the candidate determine the length of the program?
Sorry, Emara, could you repeat the question?
Sure. Does the topic chosen by candidates determine the length of the program? So is there a difference in length of program depending on what you choose to do for your research?
No, actually not. Actually not. It's not the topic. There are several factors will impact the length of the program. It's I mean, most of our doctoral students are working professionals, and we allow time for them to manage different priorities during the program. That is one factor. The other factor is also the nature of your research. For example, if you are doing participatory action research, that may require a little bit more time to engage with the different stakeholders. So It depends on the research, depends on the data availability, access to data. So there is no actually a specific factor I can really highlight that will influence the links of the program. But
Great.
thanks for the
So
question.
I'm going to ask you one more question, then we'll go to the next slide, and then we'll let some more questions come in, and then we'll answer them. So we'll kind of do that approach. So the last question I'm going to ask you before the next slide is the course your work in year one. I believe you said 6 courses. Are these taken together as a cohort through Royal Roads, or are they self-directed or through other institutions or other? So
Okay.
a bit of clarification around what that looks like.
I see this question from Sandy Walker. Sandy, it's good to see you here first. And thank you for the question, Sandy. By the way, Sandy, if I'm not mistaken, if the same name Sandy, it's also teaching in the MGM program, right, Sandy? Hey, Sandy, correct. That's you. It's good to see you. So, Sandy, the 6 courses are taken together as cohort through Railroad. Yes, they are taken together as cohort. Not all of them, I mean, except the last course. The last course, which is a 6-month course, is one-to-one course, self-directed study course. We are very familiar with the self-directed study course. I mean, Sandy, since you are a professor yourself. 6 courses, so 5 courses then will be taken as a cohort. These 5 courses are 2 courses about management theories and 3 courses about research design. The research design, general research design, qualitative and quantitative course. Yes, Sandy, thank you. Thank you for the question. It's good to see you. Okay, so key milestones, as we noted, some key milestones, dissertation supervisory committee. It is normally the formal nomination starts at the beginning of the 2nd year of your program. So the 1st year you spend the time doing the courses, considering different options. We work with you, work together, identifying supervisors and supervisory committee. So once all this completed, then you send the formal nomination. I'm going to talk a little bit more about supervisory committee in a minute. Comprehensive examination, the candidacy exam. The candidacy exam also in the 2nd year of your program, which need to happen after you complete all your courses. The proposal that comes after the candidacy exam. So you submit initial proposal as part of your admission application. You spend the 1st year working on advancing the initial proposal. And once you complete the candidacy exam, you submit the final proposal, and then the dissertation defense, which is toward the end of the program. These are some of the key milestones in the program. Any question here? Okay.
So we have a question. I'm not sure if you're going to talk more about it when we get to the supervisory committee slides, but it's, can I have, as part of my supervisory committee, my work supervisor who may have knowledge content on my area of research work?
Again, we will, as a supervisor, so, okay, here, I think here I have a clear answer here. As a supervisor, the principal supervisors needs to be at least associate professor in post-secondary institution or equivalent with active research. But as a committee member, we can decide on the committee members, but we need to make sure there is no conflict of interest. So committee member, it doesn't need to be associate professor or professor. They could, the general requirement that they need to have PhD or doctorate to be a committee member. Did I answer the question? Yes, thank you.
All right, I know we have some upcoming slides about financial aid and the different available funding opportunities. I'm going to let Tracy answer the question about the payment fee structure because I do not know the answer to that off the top of my head. So I'll let Tracy answer that in the chat and then I can read it out so we have it on the recording. So the next question is, what do I need to submit for my application? And I'm going to chat about this, and Hassan, at any point, feel welcome to jump in because I know that you get to see firsthand people's applications as they come in. So important dates to remember, and we keep this information up to date on our website, but the next intake is January 2nd, 2023, which is pretty close, hey? It's just around the corner. I can't believe we're already in 2022. So the application deadline is this September 5th, 2022. And I want to mention that this is the deadline for the intake. I highly recommend starting your application now if you're interested in the program and getting all the pieces together. For international students, we do recommend 6 months in advance of submitting your application because our processing times, we have a lot of applications coming through. So the sooner the better, start your application. And to start your application, it's really quite simple. You're going to go onto the website, you're going to apply to the program, you're going to create an online account, and once you do that, we do have some additional documents that you'll need to submit. So you'll submit your official transcripts. You'll have 3 letters of reference that you need to have submitted to us as well too. A program proposal, and we're going to talk more about that in today's session, as well as I popped a link in the chat earlier about an upcoming workshop where we really talk about the program proposal, and Ariadna will pop a link in the chat so you can register. It would be great to see you there and we can really dive into what that looks like, as well as a structured resume. And our application requirements, if you check out our website, we actually outline them kind of step by step of all the different things you need to submit for the DBA program. So I highly recommend using that as a checklist, and it goes into more details of exactly what you need to submit and how you need to submit it and who you need to send it to. So it's all on our website. Hassan, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Emara. Yes, I wanted to highlight the proposal, the proposal. I mean, all these requirements are important, certainly, but I will say one of the most important requirement is the research proposal. That will really impact the way adjudicators look at your application. So the research proposal, I strongly recommend that you spend a little bit more time on carefully writing a research proposal. As Emara said, we will have a workshop through which we will discuss a proposal writing. And I would like to acknowledge that it's not always easy to put like your ideas in 5-page and support that idea with proper references. So please feel free to reach out and we could talk about research idea and how you could put them in a proposal. Again, I strongly recommend that you spend time preparing for your proposal. And if you have any question, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to support you through the process. Thank you, Emara.
Thank you. So I'm going to mention a few additional application requirements. So if applicable, a writing sample may be requested, as well as an interview may be required with the applicant to determine their suitability for admission. Applicants declaring permanent resident or convention refugee status in Canada must submit a copy of their permanent residence card along with their application, and a transcript evaluation fee or credential evaluation report if submitting international transcripts may be required. And at Royal Roads, our primary language of instruction is English, so an official English language proficiency score report or other evidence of proficiency if English is not your primary language, and any other information or documents as may be required to determine your eligibility. But check out our website. We definitely outline all of that to make it easy to kind of know what do I need. And if you have any questions whatsoever, as Hassan mentioned, we're here to support you. We're here to help you determine what you need. So if there's anything you're wondering about, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help you. You can also set up an appointment for a one-on-one with one of our enrollment advisors as well to really look at you as an individual and see what you need. So document submission, I just popped this on the screen here. All of this is on our website. And here are the email addresses for document submission, either if you're a Canadian citizen or an international applicant. Okay, I'm going to have a look here at the chat and see if any questions are coming in about anything we were talking about. I see a lot of links. Thank you, Tracy and Ariadna, for sharing links to our website. Wonderful. Yes, so definitely if you're currently in this presentation and not watching this recording later, have a look in the chat because there's a lot of great links. So the next question, and I know many of you are wondering about, is how should I approach my research proposal? Over to you, Hassan.
Thank you. Thank you. As I mentioned, this is one of the most important requirements in your application, and we really recommend to spend some time. So here I'm highlighting a couple of points about the research proposal. But once again, we will have a workshop talking about that research proposal. So the research proposal, what we are expecting, we're expecting no more than 5 pages. So well-written 5 pages, because this will demonstrate your writing skills. In this 5 pages, you will define a researchable problem. Researchable problem. Research is based on an issue, a problem called researchable problem. So you need to define that. You need to outline the researchable problem. Based on the researchable problem, you will formulate a research question. And we understand that question will be in a progress question. You will explain the importance of the proposed question and problem. Explain how the intended research will likely contribute to management practice and research. So technically, you will explain that this problem is still a valid problem. It hasn't been addressed yet. So this is why your research will contribute to existing body of knowledge. Therefore, we expect to see I would say key highlights from the literature. We're not expecting to see like a thorough literature review. No, some key highlights from the literature to demonstrate that you put some time in looking at existing body of knowledge around your research problem. Explain how the intended research relate to your career goals and objectives. That's also important. Why are you doing this? We are expecting colleagues, I mean students, we call them in the program colleagues because they are our colleagues actually. We are expecting colleagues to connect the research problem to their own career and you know, their objectives as well. Questions?
I don't see any questions that have come in. I do want to say we do have an answer. Thank you, Tracy. So regarding the fee payment schedule, we don't have the January 2023 payment schedule available yet. However, there are 18 payments over the 4 years, so approximately every 3 months. So I hope that answered your question. And I wanted to mention, if any questions haven't gone unanswered, pop them in the chat again. We have lots of questions coming through, so just pop it in again if we haven't answered it yet.
I see a fascinating question here from Julie. Julie asked, how would a topic that is multidisciplinary be supported? A fascinating question, actually. Thank you, Julie, for asking this question. Now, all, I would say, or if not all, most management issues are interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary in nature. When we describe them as wicked problems, that they are immune to a specific discipline, and we need to look, we need to consider different disciplines to address wicked management related issues. So the question, how can it be supported? Actually, the program, since we focus on applied research, and that is one of the key strengths of the program that differentiate the program from conventional PhD, I mean, in the conventional PhD, the focus is very much on the disciplinary type of research. Here we are allowing, or we are actually promoting multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary research. So you will have a committee, supervisory committee working with you that bring different expertise to the committee, as opposed to only one supervisor. We will support a different modality of research. So it's not the standard, the conventional qualitative, quantitative. We do support innovative modalities of research. Yeah, and actually we welcome, and we would like to attract this kind of research. Thank you for the question. Very important.
And we have a question as well about funding opportunities, and we're going to be getting to the funding in just over a slide. So we'll jump into what the cohort is going to be like, and then we'll really dive into funding. So don't worry, we will answer that question. So Hassan, what is the cohort going to be like?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much. What's the cohort? Now, this is a picture of our first cohort, 2020 cohort. We have now new pictures for our 2021 and 2022 cohort. Perhaps we could include them in the next presentation. But it's I would describe it as a long journey. DBA program is a long journey. It's a marathon. It's not sprint. It's a 4-year at least. So having safety net is critical. Having colleagues who are very much, I would say, you can connect with, you can work with, is very important. I had conversation with each of the doctoral students, and before they start, they have their own fear, their own doubt. Am I ready to do this journey? What we call it in academia, imposter syndrome. Having that safety net, a cohort that help you, is critical. It's very critical. So again, the dynamic within a cohort is different from that at the master level, in the sense that here more on working as a researchers, supporting each other intellectually. So there is no team assignment and deadline and stuff like this. No, everyone has his own journey, but having colleagues, working with each other. One of my colleagues described the journey as, the more I am in the journey, the more I feel I am unfit in my old social circles. That's very interesting. And that's right. I mean, the more you are on the journey, the more you will start to have kind of a different language. You kind of different approach, and you need partners to talk with. You talk about epistemological assumption, ontological assumption, you research, you talk about the data, your old circles wouldn't be sufficient. You need to have a different circle. You need to have a different cohort, a different group to communicate with, different partners, intellectual partners. So every member of the cohort is an intellectual partner to each other. So what I will advise you, see the link, here at the bottom of the page, 2020, 2021, and on the same page, you will see now also 2022 cohort. Please feel free to have a quick look. We feature our colleagues, we feature their research, we're proud of their work. Again, they are colleagues. When they are here at on campus, they have their own offices. It's not that they sit in a classroom where the professor come and no, it's more on a collegial now level. So feel free to check the website and read their bios and read their research. And if you want to connect with any of them, please reach out. We will happy to connect you with any of our colleagues.
Thank you. So the next question is, can you share more info about funding opportunities? And I know that everyone here is wanting to know more, so we're going to jump into that.
Yeah, funding opportunity, and I understand why. I mean, it's I mean, when you look at it, like at first glance, you say, well, it's an expensive program. I mean, but when you say expensive compared to what? Other DBA programs, we are not the most expensive program in Canada. But regardless, it's still a big investment. It's a big investment, and we understand that. Now, there are different sources for fund. The first one, very common one, the self-funding. Internally, we have limited internal program funding. When I say limited, I mean, it depends. It depends how we define limited. So every year, the program, I mean, every year we will have a slightly different type of program. So this year we have, I think, 4 or 3 internal entrance award. And we have also other numbers of awards as well that DBA students can access. Now, the external funding opportunity. There are many external funding opportunities, and by all means money. I do remember one of our colleagues who is in the program now, and she got a lot of funds through the program. I remember she told me, Hassan, and she attended one of the webinars, that's early webinar, and I said that exact sentence, like many opportunity. She was like, I doubt it. What do you mean by many opportunity? Probably we will invite her to our next webinar, Emara, to talk a little bit about the funding opportunity, because she is a very well-funded colleague. Yeah, so there are many funding opportunity, but it's not us who will tell you, go to do this specific funding opportunity. It is you who will find the right funding opportunity for you. And there are many funding opportunity for doctoral students. I'm not going to give like a percentage, like half of our students are funded or 60% of them are funded. I don't really know the exact percentage now, but I can say to the best of my knowledge, every student who's very keen to get funded end up with funding. So students who are keen to get funded end up getting funded. When we say keen, this is a process. So you need to identify opportunity, you need to work, toward it, and you need to build the skills to get there. So it's not the first time you throw a application. It could happen, but it is a process. I highlight here 2 very common funding opportunity. One is SSHRC, very prestigious one, but very competitive one as well. And the second one, MyTech, still prestigious, but we had historically a very high success rate, and to the best of my knowledge, like 99%, and perhaps more or less, but it's around that. I don't know anyone who applied to MyTech, with proper procedures and proper proposal and was declined. So I would say these are possible funding opportunities. Now, through the program, we will work with you on that funding process. So there will be training, how to apply for fund, how to write application, what are the possible opportunities. You will write a mock-up application, and we will have expert looking at that mock-up application and give you feedback. So we will help you through the process, but it is still a process that you will lead. and you will navigate through different funding opportunities. I know students who get fund, I mean students who get fund more than tuition fee. So the tuition fee is 80 something thousand. Students get funds up to 200,000, 160,000. Just recently, one of our colleagues, just a couple of weeks ago, got a fund $160,000 here. So again, different funding opportunity. I do recommend that you need to spend some time looking at different opportunities. I see here Tracy posted the very good page, financial aid page on the chat. So please feel free to look at the page. They are really good information. Now, most of these opportunities, you need to have a student status in order to be eligible to apply. Some opportunity does not require you to have a student status, so it depends on the opportunity. Therefore, I will say, personally, I recommend that you have at least the fund for the first year. In the worst case scenario is that you have enough fund for the first year. At least that will help you to go through the program, have a little bit of time building your proposal, and then apply for fund. I see a lot of chat happening there.
Yeah, I can start by asking the first question. So what if a student is not able to attend the residency? What are the penalties or consequences for missing a residency?
Thank you. A residency is a part of the program. So in the DBA program is a course. It's a non-for-credit course. So you cannot proceed to the next level of your program. Oscar, did that answer the question?
And then kind of a follow-up question around that is, what is the average acceptance rate into the DBA program?
That's a good question. So DBA program is a competitive admission. So it's not everyone applies and meet the requirement will be in the program. Last year, we have a large pool of applicants. Only 18 students were selected. So I don't have a specific rate, but the process is we make sure that it's we go through every document, and it's a competitive process, and there will be interviews toward the end of the process. Does that answer the question? Kind of.
Okay, well, there's great questions coming, so keep them coming. Like, that's what we're here for, is to answer questions. That's what the session is all about. So keep asking all of those great questions. We're going to jump to the next slide, and some good ideas for next session. I think I'm going to move the slide to the very beginning because everybody was very interested in supervisor and more information about that. So the question is, should I secure a supervisor from Royal Roads University to be eligible? Where can I learn about potential supervisors? Now we're back to you, Hassan.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, we kind of addressed this question, but let me go through this slide. We prepared the slide, and as you said, we should have put the slide a little bit at the beginning. So you do not have, the answer is you do not need to have a supervisor's approval to be eligible to apply. Unlike other doctoral program, conventional PhD program, you must have a approval from supervisor. And why is that? The question you may ask, why is that? In a conventional PhD program, you have less flexibility to choose a research topic. The relationship between you and the supervisor, it's a very much, there's a power distance because it's a PhD, it's a normal conventional PhD program. You work under the wing of a supervisor, and that supervisor will give you the fund to complete your research. So you have very little influence on the direction of the topic itself. While in the DBA program, you have the opportunity to align your passion with your own degree, with your own research. This is why in a conventional PhD program, you need to have a supervisor approval. Now, DBA, we're dealing with different kind of students, adult student, professionals, and we have a percentage of professors who are actually professors in other university are doing their and are interested in doing the doctorate. So you don't need to have a supervisor in order to be eligible to apply. After completing your coursework, that's the first year, you will nominate your supervisory committee, and supervisory committee consists of principal supervisor and 2 or 3 advisors. Now, principal supervisor, there are certain criteria. Not anyone can be principal supervisor. Principal supervisor need to be at least at the associate professor level. That's the academic ranking, and has active research agenda. Of course, they will be equivalent to that if we're looking at supervisor outside Canada. Supervisor can be external to Royal Road, and that is, I think, an advantage. So you are not limited to those who are Royal Road, they are working at Royal Road. We have a good percentage of our students supervised by professors and other universities all over Canada and even outside Canada. Again, supervisor will need to have certain criteria in order to be eligible to be a supervisor. So the first year, you will have the time to build your research idea, advance it, and know exactly what direction you want to go. Because you start with normally, and that's okay. That when you submit your initial research proposal, you're not sure, is that the one that I'm gonna marry to, or I'm gonna change that later on. And that's okay. So you spend that first year working on that until you feel comfortable where you want to go. And that's the time when we work together and to identify your supervisor and then supervisory committee. And I see here some question, right?
There's some questions. I know Tracy in the chat is doing a great job answering some of the questions regarding visa requirements and payment schedules.
Good. Any question about supervisors, the supervisory committee? Now, where to find? I mean, of course, you're welcome to see the available professors at Royal University, but again, you're not limited to whoever in Royal Road. Supervisor can be external to Royal Road. Okay.
I'm not seeing any questions come in. I think we had a lot of questions about the supervisory committee at the beginning of today's presentation. So I think we've gone through that. And I want to mention that every single person here is coming from a different background, different career experience, different passions, different research problems. And we understand that. So if there's a question that's unique to you and you're not sure the answer, reach out to us. You can set up an appointment. You can talk to us about your individual situation, because we understand everybody has a different situation that brings them to Royal Roads today. So absolutely reach out. So if you're wanting to know, like, I guess the question that I posed here is, I could use some extra guidance with my application. Who do I contact? And we have a whole team here to support you on that. So our enrollment advisors are here to answer your questions and provide you with any information. They can kind of dive in deeper into the program details. If you have questions about whether the program's the right fit for you, if you have questions about the application process or admission requirements or visas or campus and student services, any of that, please reach out as well if we haven't answered the questions yet today. And here's their contact information. So if you're a Canadian domestic student within Canada, you reach out to learn.more@royalroads.ca, or if you're an international student, learn.more.international@royalroads.ca. And I see there's some more questions coming in, which is great to see. One question, I'll pass it over to you, Hassan, is, can a student finish the program in 3 years?
I mean, theoretically, I would say you still need to do the third residency, which is at the beginning of the 4th year. So technically, I would say yes, kind of like you could finish the third year and do the residency and finish the program. But that again depends on your research. So once you finish your coursework, the 3 residencies, and your supervisory committee sign off on your research, you did your defense, you're done. If this is in 3 years or like a little bit more, a little bit less, but that's totally. But from my own experience, I would say practically that's very unlikely. Very, very, very unlikely. I mean, it's a process. It takes time. So I personally haven't seen anyone who complete the program in 3 years. So practically, I would say it is wise to consider. However, I have few students who are planning to finish their program. I would say 3 years again. It's I think you still need to do the third residency. That's at the beginning of the 4th year. So once you finish this, you're done. Yeah. I just wanted to comment, Emara, you mentioned to reach out, and I would like here to add, reach out to me if you have any question about the research itself, about if you want help on your research, if you want chat a little bit about the research, reach out to me. I'm very happy to schedule a call, and I will be able to schedule a call within a couple of weeks of your email, certainly. So please reach out and let me know how can I help you.
So how are we doing with questions? I know there's a lot to process and a lot of information. I'm seeing we're kind of getting up to the end of the questions in the chat. Thank you everyone for answering them. Thank you, Tracy, for all of the links, and Ariadna. Hassan, do you have any other words of advice for the people in the room considering the program, or any final words that you'd like to share?
I would want to thank everyone for joining today. I wanted to wanted to tell you that we know this is not an easy decision to take. We understand that. And that's why we are offering our help here. We say we are here to discuss with you this journey before you get started. And we will work with you on that and making sure that you are ready to start the journey. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day, or the rest of the day, wherever you are. And yeah, over to you, Emara.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you to everyone in the room today for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I will be processing the recording and sending it out to everyone who is registered for this webinar. So you'll be getting it in your inbox in the next 24 hours. And I hope to see all of you at our upcoming workshop. The link is in the chat. I'll share it out by email. It'd be great to really dive into your research problem. And once again, thank you all and have a wonderful rest of your day today.